Australia declared war on legitimate birds and then lost?
Wait, what?
Yep, this embarrassing event was called the Great Emu War. After World War I, Australia gave a lot of their veteran soldiers farmland in the West. During the American Great Depression, America put tariffs on international imports, which put a lot of economic strain on other countries around the world, especially Australia, who really relied on their international exports to help their local economy. Just so we're clear, the Western Australia, not the United States. I shouldn't have to explain that, but I felt like it was necessary. So people in Australia were already struggling with all of that and other economic issues, such as trying to create a new currency. It was a lot. It was very overwhelming. On top of all that, 20,000 emu on their normal migration pattern to the west found these expanding farms in that area with lots of water sources for the livestock and a whole bunch of crops to munch on. Which obviously was a problem for the farmers, not only for the emu to be snacking on all their crops, but I don't know if you've ever seen an emu before, but they are big. So as they were trying to get to the crops and have a little snacky snack, they were also breaking fences that kept other animals out, like rabbits, who would then scurry on in and then snack on the crops that the emu didn't eat. Listen, I don't like birds, okay, but I hate emu. I don't get why they have to look so much like dinosaurs, and you have to be careful with your eyeballs. Emu like shiny things, and if you look them in the eye and your eyes glisten in the light, demon creatures. Anyways, a group of these soldiers went to the government and said, "These emu are a problem." And the government was like, "Oh, do you want to talk to the Department of Agriculture? That would make sense." And the farmers said,
"No, we want war."
And as ex-soldiers who helped win World War I,
You know what we're handy with? Machine guns. So why don't you allow us to use our special skills to help ourselves? Officially deploy us to do what we do best and take care of those birds.
And the Australian government said, "It will look like we care about the economic issues going on in the country, and it will give our boys some great target practice." Yes, that was said. Do not come for me for the bad joke. The government literally said that. So the farmers were made to fund this whole operation, but yes, officially, war was declared on these birds. So what did this war look like? Well, it looked embarrassing. These men literally tried to set up cameras on their battlefields so that they could show the government what a good job they were doing. They actually thought they came in so prepared. But they did little to no actual research on emu. A group of emu is called a mob, okay? And as emu are grazing and just hanging around, they're usually settled in just one giant big mob. But once emu sense danger, they split and they run. Not only run at 40 miles an hour. That's fast. I can't do that. So now there's just a bunch of little mobs running everywhere.
Who do we attack? There's so many groups, who do we focus on?
And on top of it, some of these government officials compared the body and torso of emus to tanks. So just think about the fact that a lot of these birds can get up to 6 feet tall and 120 pounds. So most of these birds could take a couple shots to their torso and keep running at 40 miles an hour to safety. That is terrifying. So if you haven't caught on by now, these battles didn't go particularly well for the Australians. The first official battle, when asked, "So how many did y'all kill?"
A number.
A number? A large number?
It was certainly a number.
Was this number a majority?
There was a majority who got away.
That's how you know it went terribly, when that was a legitimate answer given to the government by these soldiers. At another one of these battles, the men were able to slay 12 birds. But it wasn't their fault that they only got 12, guys. Don't you know that 12 of their machine guns just so happened to not work that day? Those COD bros can tell you it's always the controller's fault. And then these soldiers were like,
"These birds are too fast. We can't keep up on foot. Let's start mounting guns on the back of trucks so we can keep up with these velociraptors. Sounds good?"
Well, then the ride was too bumpy for them to aim properly and even use the weapons, so that didn't work out. You can just imagine the jokes from the press, the opposing government officials. It was bad. So the war was gonna be called off because it wasn't going well, but the farmers begged the government one more chance.
The emu's still causing so much chaos. Come on, just give us one more chance to do something about it.
Okay. So it got approved for one more chance. This last attempt was way more successful than any of the other attempts. They slayed about 1,000 emu out of the 20,000 in the infestation. But at that point, everybody was over it. The press, the government, the farmers paying for it, they were ready to move on. So it was time to officially call the war. And with only about a little over 1,000 of the 20,000 emu slayed, they had to declare it a loss. Yikes. This is by far one of my favorite history stories ever. And you know what? It honestly leaves me a little bit speechless every time. But I figure we can have some fun with it. I want you guys in the comment section to leave me your best headline. If you were a reporter in 1932 during the Great Emu War, what headline would you give this ridiculous event? I can't wait to read them. Thank you so much for joining me for 5 minutes of history, and hopefully you're 5 minutes smarter.